I've been on the faculty at UCLA for quite a while, in fact, since the late 70s. I'm a professor of marketing there, and my specialty is quantitative marketing, so using modern data analytic techniques to understand how markets work, what makes customers buy or not buy products, those sorts of questions. And on the industry side, I'm currently a partner with Market Share Partners, also headquartered in Los Angeles, which is a marketing analytics firm with clients around the world. The results of the 20th century are not all that good for marketing. If you look at sort of the standard statistics that say, depending on the sector, up to 80% of new products fail commercially. Half of advertising doesn't work. 70-80% of price promotions are money losers to the promoting party. If you look at these statistics, that's not very good. It's certainly not by comparison to other parts of the organization. The mistake, the common mistake as I see it, is siloism. Okay, so in other words, the marketing function is seen as separate. The view that they're responsible for something and for nothing else. Okay, but the way, at least that in marketing academia we think about marketing, is much more than just advertising and sales promotion. It involves also the product innovation function. It involves the market research function. It involves the sales force, which is usually seen as part of the sales department, not the marketing department. But look at it from a customer perspective. These are all parts of the organization that create impressions on customers. So the accountability has to be much, much broader and not just be stuck in a marketing silo. You used to be able to generate a successful business by virtue, for example, of a low-cost paradigm or a superior manufacturing productivity paradigm, kind of assuming the demand was there. But now so many companies are able to do that the differentiator is no longer that ability to, for example, manufacture at low cost or very productively. The differentiator is now your ability to sense market demand, to do something about it, in other words, through the marketing mix, to demonstrate that and therefore show your strategic importance to the organization. Are your marketing efforts driving the, let me call it, intermediate metric, some sort of a consumer attitudinal metric, for example? That's question one. And then question two is, how does that intermediate metric relate to financial performance, so that you don't overinvest in something that turns out to have very little financial value? It is, in a way, kind of the last frontier of business, the part of business that has been the least accountable, not because of poor quality people, but because of lack of good information sources. That last frontier, I think, is now being finally tackled. The data are getting very, very good. It started pretty much with companies like IRI and Nielsen supplying scanner data for mostly consumer products. But it is now in many other areas as well that we have this very, very high quality data that, as I said, allows us to gain these understandings. Among some younger companies, actually this one, I'm not sure how old it is, but I like what Bose is doing. Okay. Bose is a company that, of course, makes consumer electronics, but their marketing tactics are very, very different from, let's say, those of Sony or Samsung or anybody else. They're also smaller. I think they're doing exceptionally well in targeting. I think their product innovation is well managed. They seem to connect the marketing function to the product innovation function, which the marketing literature will show is the marketing science literature is very impactful. One that comes to mind is Procter & Gamble. Like every other company, it has its highs and its lows, but it seems to be a remarkably stable performer. And from the little bit that I know about the organization, they have practiced accountability for a long time. On any business problem, any brand in any sector, Google can provide a set of information that is otherwise not available about how that brand or that company is doing in paid search and in the natural search space. They are this information age that they seem to be tapping in very original ways, I think is a very, very strong value proposition. And it precisely will help us in accountability. In other words, the information that they provide can be search information and so forth, can be used strategically by other companies to gauge how they're doing. And what MSP does through the Google data in combination with the client's data and maybe some other data sources is sort out the causal mechanisms between them and help advise the clients on the role that paid search has in their overall marketing mix. The work that's happening in giving marketing more strategic meaning by looking at long-term impact, not just short-term impact. And in this context, I would point to two sort of major advances. One of them is in our understanding of the importance of brand equity. We have better metrics of brand equity. We are better able to separate out the importance of a brand versus sort of tactical marketing efforts on business performance. And the other one is the concept of customer lifetime value, and then its aggregation across customers, which is customer equity, which is really the first time that marketing has a metric that is actually equivalent to the value of the firm. It's because customer equity is the same as the value of the firm, only seen through the eyes of customers and customer relationships. So because we have these metrics now, we are far better able to understand how a loyalty program or a systematic high score on customer satisfaction or unusual innovation activity, etc., creates long-term advantage for a company or a brand through these new metrics. And in both of those areas, there's been quite a bit of research over the last several years that has kind of pushed the envelopes in that sense.